So I want to do like a little what have you heard? Because so what have you heard about Devin Haney? You know, he seems kind of being
Do you know what? No, he's not. I've got to be honest, right? And I just said this in an interview. People are saying right now, Devin Haney's in no man's land. I actually think Devin Haney is in a brilliant position, right? Because Devin Haney was going to sign with Zuffa. He probably still will. I don't know where he's up to, right? I think that, like, I know the numbers they're giving Shakur. Great deal for Shakur. He gave up his legacy, but he's got legacy. And now he's got a great deal. Good for him. They really need him to fight Devin Haney, because when you're paying someone that much money, who are you going to put him in with? And the narrative that they bleed into fighters is so bizarre. Like, you got Shakur up there going, the great thing about this deal is it's the best v the best, and I can fight whoever I want. No, you can't. What are you talking about? You got a load of the champions and big names on the zone with other promoters. You can't fight who you want, right? Now, who else can you fight right now? Rayo Valenzuela, good fighter, but you're going to pay Shakur that kind of money to fight Rayo Valenzuela. They need Devin Haney. They need to make that fight. And actually, as much as it pains me to say the position that Devin and Bill are in right now, and I love them, they should be saying, you really need me right now. Don't you, Zuffa? Because what other fight is going to be worth paying Shakur that kind of money other than Devin Haney? And the problem is with Devin and Bill, when they understand they have leverage, God, they are fucking hard work. Do you know what I mean? So good luck to Devin. I think if he plays it right, you know, you see, yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
You know, last time we spoke about the AJ Fury kind of who's promoting it.
What do you think Shakur's next fight should be?
I want to see him in that. I think that's gonna be the fight.
I thought he signed the agreement to do the fight, right?
Nah, he signed.
He signed with Zoot for boxing, but Devin supposedly he's gonna sign with them, so it seems like
it's gonna be. Listen, Devin, Keyshawn, Devin, Shakur, Devin Tank, like
Rocky.
Devin in a great spot right now. You know, Devin got a lot of good options. Devin Ryan, after him and Roley, Devin Conor Ben, like Devin got a lot of opportunities right now, and so do Shakur. All those guys, because they all can fight each other. You know, so I think that number of individuals, they can round robin, except Shakur and Keyshawn. But everybody else.
What did you think when you saw Shakur and Shannon Sharp going back and forth?
All right, man, we back, man. So apparently everybody is now, saying Devin Haney's in a great position. You had Crawford saying it. I played the audio of that. You had Eddie Hearn saying it. And, people need to give Bill his credit. Now, on a little fun fact, there's only been 2 fighters, and I'm not saying this pertains to this actual thing, but there's only been 2 fighters, to my knowledge, to win Manager of the Year. Active fighters, that's George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins. But Bill Haney has done a great job, and he's showing why at what point he was Manager of the Year. He's done a great job with his son's career. From them coming up to Mexico, taking the chance, not having to have one of these long-term commitments. And I think that's where a lot of the jealousy comes from. A lot of these other fighters they didn't have the financial leverage that Devin and Bill had to not have to take some of these deals where they put $100K on the table or $250K on the table. And, you take that money on the table and they had leverage, so they didn't have to take a dummy deal and not read the fine line. How many fighters we heard, came to this guy's house and, he had the money on the table and they took the deal and didn't even read the fine print. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's critical. But I think a lot of the jealousy come because he had that leverage and he didn't have to sign a slave deal. A lot of these guys sign themselves over into boxing slavery, but they are in a great position. I mean, it's no other way to kind of cut the cake. Bill looked like he was on the ropes. Now, Bill got staggered, or Bevan and Bill got dropped, and they didn't got up and scored 3 knockdowns and the rest about to stop it. So they're in a great position. I mean, at the end of the day, he knew what he was doing. He was giving little tidbits, and right now, as of July 17th, Friday, 2026 at 1:44 p.m. Detroit's time, don't nobody know what he gonna do. That's a fact. Don't they said behind the scenes they don't know what he gonna do. No, they got the zone putting up the money for the Keyshawn fight. I don't know if it's gonna be a TV deal or just a one fight deal or whatever. I don't know but then nobody know what they gonna do until the WBO. They wait until the 23rd and a half hour to make a decision with the WBO. But he's in a great position. You know what I'm saying? If it was me personally and I really believe I was gonna beat Keyshawn, I'd tell Dana, hold up, beat up on Keyshawn. Then guess what? Shakur ain't got no choice but to fight you at Zuffa. He ain't got no choice but to fight you. And you get to get Shakur and you get to get Keyshawn. But guess what? If you lose to Keyshawn, which ain't out the realm of possibility, especially when you go into that side of the street, then the for show money gone. So, we always get the for show money. You know what I'm saying? And I think they for sure want to get that for show money, especially when that for show money is greater than the zone money. So, but it's a great position when you got options and you don't have to sign your life away. You got options. You got all the leverage in the world. If you think you can go out there and beat Keyshawn and you beat Keyshawn and you don't have to, serve a deal with the zone, you can do a one-off deal with the zone. Then you could turn around and you can back Shakur and Jay Prince into a corner. The only hope they got if you get past Keyshawn and Shakur is when young Abdullah Mason come up. And by the time young Abdullah Mason get up to your weight, Devin may be gone. Devin already talked about he wanted to retire early. So, we all know it's hard for fighters to walk away. Even Marciano before, he perished, rest in peace to him, in a plane crash, which allegedly I heard a story that he used to drive a plane and go pick up his money. And he was going to pick up a debt from a guy in his plane crash. He was coming back out of retirement if that didn't happen. So they all come back, right? But yeah, you in that position, you Devin Haney, you riding shotgun with the double barrel shotgun. I mean, what else more can you ask? Everybody is gotta respect Bill's business acumen. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is Bill done some things that, Michael Jackson used to do. He used to go to the streets. Michael used to, go to the streets and do interviews and get guys from the street. When you feed the streets directly, you know what I'm saying? The streets are always gonna fuck with you. When you plug in with people directly, that's when people can reach and talk to you, and that's how you, if I had an artist or if I was trying to break a fighter or break an athlete, I would break them to the streets. I would break them with local radio stations, with local media members, that got good work and would do my background. That's how you do it. You go to the streets. Now you see Shakur Stevenson. He didn't get that. He got that Zuffle deal because of Bill, right? And hopefully one day he thanked Bill Haney on fucking record for that. But you notice he took the Devin Haney thing. He took the Devin Haney route where they going on these media tours and the radio stations. And here Devin was the first nigga really doing that. You know what I mean? So when you're in a great position, the way Devin is in, it can go from being real bad one day in business to being real great. It's the story of our lives. One day it feel like it's the worst day of your life and you get some news and that your shit can change at the drop of the dime. Always remember Yo Gotti had an album called White Friday. I think it might have been a song called 81. And the monologue before that song really started, he said, it's amazing what 365 days can do. He says, just last year they was cutting budgets, you know what I'm saying? The record label was in trouble. I'm paraphrasing. A year later, I dropped the biggest, hit of my career. You know what I'm saying? Shit changed, man. Your life can change quick, bro. That's why when I'm on my way up from the ground and I'm way up, man, I try to treat everybody with respect because them very same people on your way down, because what goes up got to come down. Depending how far you come down, that's on, the situation. But the people that see you on your way up, those are the people that can catch you on your way down and make sure you get back on your feet. That's why I always try to treat everybody with respect. But one thing Furious Styles told Trey on Boys in the Hood, if they don't give you no respect, don't give that person no respect. So sometimes bridges must be burned. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes some people will disrespect you. Sometimes people will disrespect you and you check them and they respect you even more. That's what most dudes don't realize when they come to women. Women shit test you to see what they can get away with. You know what I'm saying? And when you check that shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's where the respect begin at. You know what I'm saying? That's when you check bullshit, when a bitch do you with bullshit, when a woman do you, and you check that shit, bro, you got respect. You got respect as long as you preserve it. That's what people don't understand about the shit. That's what people really don't understand about it. You know, a lot of guys do that. They try to get over on you and you let it slide. It's certain, at one point you got to set the standard. In the football, they say you got to set the edge. When you rushing the quarterback, it's how you set that edge for any relationship you in, bro. Friend to friend, peer to peer, family to family. You know what I'm saying? Once you set that, like, you ain't gonna take nothing. You ain't gonna, you know, it go a long way. But hey, you know, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. You know, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo. Now Devin Haney riding shotgun. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how shit can just change on a dime. You look like you on the ropes, you know. And at the end of the day, Stad is good at business, you know. And I think that's where a lot of the jealousy come from. But I hit the link in the description. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon. It say find me everywhere in the description. Hit that link tree. Peace.